technically representing Carroll Public Schools for Superintendent Guthrie, but I was also lucky enough to know Mr. Paxton for 38 years. I want to tell a couple little stories that I think best illustrate the impact that I think Mr. Paxton had on all of us that are here tonight. I'm going to use myself as an example, but I think as I talk, you'll recognize a lot of things that you all felt or could share in my story. And I'm going to start out when I was a senior in the stage band, and I was getting pretty cocky and pretty full of myself, and thinking I was pretty cool because I was playing solo and things like that. And right about over there where Sandy's sitting, the stage band was on the stage, and there was this little black man at the stand waiting for me because I was the featured soloist. And as I walked out to play the song, and Mr. Paxton out here, and he looks over and gives me a smile, and I go over to pull the stand up because it was down, and as I went to pull the stand up, the top of it came off, and it hit myself in the head, and it was like a cymbal, you know. And I was horrified, completely horrified, and I just felt like melting on the stage. And I looked over at Mr. Paxton, and the look that Glenn is talking about, I saw a million times, and I knew I can't do it well, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. He kind of looked at me and kind of gave me the way to go, now this is, but then something inside of me, you know what I did? I bowed. And he looked at me, and he gave me that smirk, like, right on. And then I played reasonably well, but probably not that well. But I got through that. And now let's go back 6 years prior to that, when I was in the 7th grade. I had just suffered through the most humiliating, we all go through humiliation in middle school, right? I mean, it's a tough time, but I just suffered through the humiliation of 6th grade with my mom being a lunch aide at school and bringing my trumpet to me every day, so I didn't have to carry it on the bus. And I had a new band teacher, this Mr. Paxton guy, and he recognized me for exactly what I was, a shy, awkward, skinny, very low self-esteem, just thought I was the weirdest, geekiest guy around. And he saw something in me. And as time progressed, he gave me something that I just can't even hardly put into words. As I played, he always, just like Kathy said, he always challenged me to do more than I could. I always thought he was crazy for expecting so much of me because I really, honestly, was not that good of a player. I was reasonably good, but I just wasn't tremendous. I mean, there were other people that were better, but he always pushed me, and he knew that there was something more inside of me, and he knew that, and he knew that about all of you too, and he was able to bring that out of me. Then when it was time to go to high school, we had to try out for Mr. Dave Stimmel was the band director at the time of Westminster High School, and I didn't think I had done so well, but sure enough, I was among 2 freshman trumpet players that made the marching band, and I was ecstatic, and I knew exactly why I made the marching band. Mr. Paxton did a good word for me, for sure. He convinced Mr. Stimmel, probably that, okay, he might not have the best audition, but he'll do well. So after my first year of band, I was lucky enough to have Mr. Paxton come back, and so my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year, I had Mr. Paxton. And all through that time, the thing that I treasure most, and I think that we all recognize in him, there was 2 dimensions, I think, that were most important of the lessons I learned from Mr. Paxton that are probably true for a lot of you. One was the individual aspect. Exactly as Kathy said, much better than I would. He challenged us to be the best that we could be personally. And he wasn't a screamer. He was all about discipline, but he wasn't like all in your face and everything. You knew exactly what he wanted, and you didn't want to disappoint him. And Kathy is exactly right. When he would ask you to do something, you would be like, I can't do this, but you found a way to do it. As I grew that self-esteem, that being who I was, he helped me find who I am and be that person that was deep down inside. I grew out of that geeky, skinny, low self-esteem, you know, what I thought was a loser. And I was proud. And I was proud of who I was. And he did that for me. I mean, honestly, you know, there's always 2 or 3 people in your life that make a huge impact on you, right? I think we all feel that way. And besides probably my father, I would have to say that for me, it's like 2 or 3 teachers in my life. And that's probably true for a lot of us, that teachers really have a huge impact. Mr. Paxton is definitely one of those. As I went through the years at Westminster High School, I started to lose that shyness, and I was more comfortable in my own skin. And of course, when you're in high school, we went a little bit too far. And so probably a lot of times, me and my friends were maybe a little rude and obnoxious, so I just want to apologize to everybody out there who I won't mention any names. So, you know, but the point that I'm making is that he helped us be better people of ourselves. But the other piece of that was that it didn't become an ego thing. We always found a way to come out of the ego thing where we were better than the other person. And that's why I started the story of me hitting myself into the stand. You know, it was all about team. It was all about what we could do together. And as Kathy said, and I talked to Glenn last week, we were good. I mean, we really were fantastic. And what we were a collection of people who had a lot of different backgrounds, came from different places, but you know, we really loved each other. And as much as we give each other a hard time and make fun of each other, we really loved each other. And I have learned over the years how important team is, and how, you know, what team is being able to pick others up. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. You let your strengths shine, and you don't focus on somebody else's weaknesses. You pick them up, and together you can be something a lot better. You know, just little things. There's so many things in our lives that we do on a daily basis that say Paxton. When I first came to work at Carroll County Public Schools, and I inherited a department that was kind of interesting, the one thing that I did immediately is this right here. We created a logo. This is the band jacket, right? We're all familiar with our band jackets. We wore those things with pride. It was recently, I would say my wife made me throw it away because it was in bad shape, she says, because I wouldn't fit in it anymore. But it's just recently that I had to finally get rid of it. It was tattered. I wore it all the time. And that was something that meant a lot to all of us. We were proud of what we did together as a team. And I think of all the things that Mr. Paxton did, he helped us be the best that we could be individually, but not allow us to get bigger than ourselves, and understand that as a team is that's what life is all about. And when you see the things that people have been saying about him from a family perspective and from a teaching perspective, that's really what it's all about. And I was thinking about it. I wonder if he consciously did these things, if he consciously thought about, this is what I'm doing. And I doubt that he did. It was just who he was. And I think we all are better people for having had him in our lives. Superintendent Guthrie is very familiar with my stories. I am very, very proud of many of the teachers I had throughout my school life in Carroll County. He's familiar with my stories. He's very familiar with Mr. Paxton. And I think it's a real tribute and something that we talked about, that so many of Mr. Paxton's students are successful in whatever it is that they're doing. You know, be it whether they're musicians, teachers, plumbers, firemen, whatever they are, they're leaders in whatever it is that they're doing. And I think that's a real tribute. The fact that so many of his former students are teachers, are stuck with their music, I think is a real tribute. And the education is really important, and this is something that is very challenging in our time with budget cuts and everything, but education is very important because it's more than just what you learn in the classroom. It's life lessons. And I think for the people here who have experienced, they've gone through band, whether it be Westminster High School or Delaney High School with Mr. Paxton, are better people for it. To many people, he's Paxton or Jim, but to me, he will always be Mr. Paxton. I can't help myself. It's a sign of respect. He was my teacher. Teachers deserve respect. And he will always be Mr. Paxton to me. And I just feel like my journey was probably very similar, different in some ways, but very similar to